Hey YouTube. I wanted to go over my bug out bags today with you. Had a couple thoughts about the bug out bag and some things I switched around inside of it. And I just wanted to talk a little bit more realistic about bug out bags. The scenarios in which we might find ourselves bugging out could be anything from got to take off into the woods and survive off of sticks and leaves, or it could just simply be a matter of somebody coming and knocking at the door saying there's been a chemical spill in your area and you got to go. I had originally had things like ration bars and such in my bug out bag, and a friend of mine, she showed me her bug out bag, and then I really put some thought to what I realized I was doing wrong. I was doing what I was told was the right thing to do. I was going by not survivalist, but by more military-based input. Now, I have two bug out bags that I'm going to show you. They're both small, which is why there's two of them instead of one big one. And I have a couple reasons for that. But Mike has a huge bug out bag that he carries on his back. And I'm not going to show you that one. I can assure you that if you see a lack of tactical or defense items in my bug out bag, please rest assured that there are just some things I don't like to show. And as well, the way that I designed our bug out bags was we both have what we need if we would happen to get separated, but then combined, the bug out bags combined, and hopefully, we wouldn't get separated. We could set up a freaking village the way I got this thing going, so, and defend it. But, just to show you the size of my bug out bags, they're both, like I said, really small. And part of that is because, first of all, I am short and I am a female. And I'm not exactly trained for running a marathon. So part of my thinking is that rather than having one huge bulk weight on one part of my body, at least with these smaller bags, I can separate the weight out. I can shift it around as I'm going through the woods or whatever. Shift a shoulder, shift a hip. If anybody else is with us, let them carry some of the weight. So, and aside from that, I also, when I was putting these together, thought, well, this is my have-to-have bag, and this is my, if I have time to grab an extra bag and can, this one will just make life extra easy. So I have big necessities, in my opinion, in here, and I have luxuries and more necessities in here. So just to start off, on the outside, I'm going to set this bag off to the side. On the outside of the bag, for easy reach, I've got a knife right here on the outside. I don't want to be running along, come across somebody, and have to fumble and dig through my bag and remember which compartment it's in to find a method of defense. And of course my water canteen is on the outside. Now, I do also have back here on the back a water bladder that I can pull out and fill up with water, and I have a hoodie, plastic, hooded jacket and pants, a rain suit. And, a rain suit, if the weather's bad, because, if you think about the way the world really works, a bug out situation is not going to happen when it's a perfect 75 degrees with sunshine and be at 3 in the afternoon, and it just happens to be on a day when you're home and have nothing better to do. As we know, a bug out situation is probably going to happen when the weather is a little bit colder than we want to deal with, a little bit wetter than we want to deal with, 2 in the morning. And a rain suit, it can keep you dry, but it also can insulate some warmth into you when worn over your clothes. So just keep that in mind. Also on the outside of this bag, I've got this awesome saw blade that I always have a hard time getting open. Oh yeah, there's that button there. But anyway, this hacksaw blade, I can cut limbs and brush to make my fire with or make a shelter with. It's a saw, it's a hand saw, and this is sharp, sharp, sharp. But you got to think about things, especially women putting these together that haven't done a whole lot of survival training in the wilderness or hunting, you know, some things like that. Building a fire, yeah, you can go around and get sticks, but maybe. This saw, not that it's a pleasant thought, but this saw also, if somebody had some gangrene setting in, and there was a need to do an amputation, that saw would do it. God forbid, right? Okay, let's get into the bag. And I've got several compartments in this bag, but right on the top I have a little baggie. Things like water purification. These aren't tablets, this is a powder, but it's just filled with these things. So, little Ziploc bag, very simple. I have some thread, I have a little piece, a couple pieces of scrap paper that are stapled together with a pencil, and I also have some zip ties, and I have this little fishing set up. It's got 2 fishing hooks and some line. Now, I bought this one like this, but for Mike's bug out bag, I just took some of his hooks and some of his line off his fishing pole and made him his own little fishing kit and Ziploc bag. So, tampons. I've got a Ziploc bag full of tampons. I've got probably 10 in here. I recommend these even if you're a guy, because I've had a lot of people tell me that if you got like a bullet wound, these would be perfect to insert into the bullet wound, and of course it'll expand and help clog up that hole. But ladies, you don't want to be caught in the woods in a shit hit the fan situation with no way to shower or change and get Mother Nature's wonderful gift. Again, ladies, this is a good idea for you. A lot of guys, especially hunters or ex-military, already have some of this information ingrained in their head, but for the rest of us, and you know what, even for those people that already know some of these things, it's still good to have a reminder. I've got an outdoor survival guide, and gosh darn it, you know, another thing about that is, even if you know some of this stuff, you're sitting in the woods, there's no TV, there's no cell phone, there's no anything. Having a little something to flip through and read, how can that be done? Alright, in this bag, I've got 2 extra pairs of socks, an extra t-shirt that I've got folded up in here. This t-shirt, it's thick, heavy cotton, and I have one of those little cheap little solar blankets. And I'm going to tell you, I had not thought about this till I saw somebody's video a day or 2 ago, and then my friend came over and was showing me her bag. I know that I've heard from all my brothers were in the Marines. I have a daughter in the Army. My father was in the Army. And over again, you always hear about taking care of your feet. And the more I thought about it, the more that made sense. If you took off running, you might run through a creek or a mud puddle, or you might just have time to put on flip-flops. I know when I go camping, even in the summertime, nothing feels better than putting on a nice clean pair of socks, especially when I'm crawling into bed. So do yourself a favor, make sure you've got some extra socks. I think it's actually one of the more vital pieces of clothing that we could have with us is clean socks. I do also have a bandana in here. I can use that bandana either, you know, to wear or for like my water purification. It says to strain the water, so I can filter things with that bandana. I can use it as a tourniquet, whatever, just one bandana. I have a flashlight. You want to keep your batteries out of the flashlight. I keep mine rubber band to the side of it. They'll last longer. I have this really awesome tool in here. I can't remember what the name of it is. I'm sure some of you guys would remember, and I know Mike remembers. He tells me, but I always forget. But you open this thing up, you've got pliers, and then in the arms of this tool, when it's closed, there's screwdrivers and little knife blades, and I got one of these at, I got this at the Army surplus store as well. Sticks. I'm not a big glow stick fan. Not really a whole lot of light, but whatever. Everybody seems to want one in their bug out bags. And of course I have a lighter. This is my fire starting kit. And I have another lighter in here. And I also have this sharpening stone in here. That's a nicer one. I've got some more water tablets. These are just Coleman tablets. You can get them at Walmart in the camping section. And I've got a can opener. These little P38s, that's what they're called. I've got some firebugs, the little cotton balls with wax on them, and this waterproof container with waterproof matches. So I've got several ways to light a fire. It's between matches and lighters and everything else. So this is just a little extra Ziploc bag there that I put together. I have a bag of Germex, a bottle of Germex, an emergency candle, a roll of black tape. I got a trash bag. The trash bag is more for use to build shelter or to wrap around the body to insulate heat than anything. It's not, I'm not going to be carrying a bag of trash around in the woods, but certainly could potentially have some good use. And in here I have some of these hand warmers. Again, this particular brand is Coleman. You can get it in the camping section at Walmart. I have some others that are a different brand. They're a little bit better brand and they're bigger, and I got them at the
The second half of my bug out bag.
Bite and sting kit for bee stings or snake bites. Again, on the outside of this one I have another one of those same knives, and I have this first aid kit that clips to the outside, and I clipped it to the outside to save room on the inside. But this has got bandages and rubber gloves and chapstick and a razor blade and gauze, things like that. And of course there's room in it that I can add some more things if I wanted to. But I think I have enough inside already. This neat little whistle I got at the surplus store. It's a whistle. It has a compass and has a magnifying glass. Cheap little one, but it's still, it's a magnifying glass and a thermometer. I just thought that's kind of cool. Inside the bag, I have another medical kit here that I put together. Band-aids, Neosporin, some medical tape. I'm not sure what you call it, but it's one of those, it's like a sponge gauze. And I got that at the Army surplus store. And then I just dropped some Tylenols into the bottom, because, you know, if you get a wound, you could potentially get fever if you have an infection, and Tylenol is better for fevers. So I felt it was more important to worry about a fever situation than just a
Anyway, I
have a little Ziploc bag of dehydrated apples that I dehydrated, and I want to talk to you about this food situation. A lot of people get all hyped up on the ration bars, and I had ration bars in here at one point, and then I realized, I was like, you know, if the shit hits the fan and it's to a point where I have to bug out into the woods in a survival situation, the last thing I want to do is give up my appetite. I'm thinking that the ration bars, yeah, they might keep you alive, but you're going to be bored, you're going to be stressed out, and you're going to wish that you had some real food. So the ration bars are actually even kind of heavy compared to the things that I'm going to show you that I've got in here. But yeah, I dehydrated some apples. Nothing special about them, but they're so lightweight. I've got a can of tuna. And I have my cooking kit here, if I can get to it. Some of the stuff I'm going to take out so I can get to what I want to show you first. I have one of those camping coffee cups, and I have it filled with some of the ration heating, which I just love these things. These things are so awesome. You can just break you off a chunk. I've already played with it. You can see. Break off a chunk, light it real quick. It ignites immediately, and you cook on top of it. I have, of course, my little fork and spoon. Because what good is it to have food if you don't have a way to eat it? Another whistle with another compass. I've got a lot of repeat items in here, but that's another reason why it's good to go through your bag after you've added things to it. But this thing has some matches in it as well. I have another P38 and fire stick. Reason being, there's one in each bag, is like I said, if my bags get separated, if I only have time to grab one. There's some things that I duplicated, small things on purpose, just to make sure I've got them. This one though, it's got this really cool little saw blade thingy on it as well. That thing is kind of cool. I've got water tablets in here, again, just in case the two bags get separated. And I have beef bouillon cubes. Hey, you know, talking about food again, one of the things that I really love in my bag is this dehydrated vegetable soup. Hearty vegetable stew. It's got carrots, peas, onions, celery, corn, tomato, peppers, a little bit of everything. I actually sell this in my eBay store. If you paid retail value for it, you would pay $17 a pound. I sell it for $10 a pound all day long. And this stuff is so awesome. I'm going to cook some up for you later, show you it. But if you've got water, I made some yesterday for me and Mike, just for shits and giggles, I'll say. It wasn't an actual meal, but I was like, let's, just have some. And it was really awesome. It's really good stuff. This is way better than Lipton cup of soup, but needs a little flavoring. So I've got beef bouillon cubes. Add one to a cup of this, and this stuff swells up. Like I said, it's dehydrated. This right here would be enough for several meals for me. And Mike has a bag of this in his bug out bag, again, in case we get separated or whatever. But, I really encourage you to think a little bit better about your food situation. Dehydrated foods, you can actually come up with some cool meals instead of the ration bars. And I'm not trying to say ration bars are bad. I'm just trying to say, think realistically, especially if you might have the potential of having kids or diabetics or somebody like that with you. But more so, it's late in the evening, you're in the woods, you're cold, you're scared, you're damp, you're wet, you don't know what's going on back home. This is a comfort food. You can really warm your soul up a little bit with a bowl of soup. So I like that. Like I said, I do sell this by the pound. It's dehydrated. It's sealed in one of the silver Mylar bags. So if you're interested, $10 plus $4.95 shipping. Send me a message. I'll send you a PayPal invoice. Get you some toilet paper, guys. It's so light, doesn't take up much room. And again, if the shit's hit the fan, do you really want to have to be trying to figure out which leaf you want to use? Who knows if you're going to be up there for a night, or 3 nights. But I know that when you get your nerves all shook up and your diet does change, toilet paper can be a blessing. I don't consider this a luxury. I consider this a necessity. Let's go through this one. This is actually a tobacco can. I smoke. Mike and I roll our cigarettes. And this tobacco can is metal. So I decided, you know what? Because I gotta have something to put my the heat bar thingy. I'm gonna have something to put it in. So this is perfect for setting my cup on top of. Of course, I'll have to poke some air holes in this can at that time, if it ever comes to that. But inside the can, I've got little packets of sugar, towelettes, of course matches, coffee, gum, paper towels. I have a reusable coffee filter. I can use this to strain just about anything. It's just a muslin cloth coffee filter. But I want coffee. I'm a coffee drinker, and again, I'm trying to think of comfort when I'm out there. So I have a bag, a Ziploc bag of coffee with my coffee filter. So I can just put my coffee right in there, and then I can tie this up, dip it down in the water, and then I can rinse this out and use it again. I got a pack of hot chocolate. I have a little Ziploc bag of sugar and some non-dairy creamer mix. You know, I'm not gonna spend too much more time emphasizing it, but you really got to think comfort. Now with this little bit right here, I have got snacks, breakfast, dinner, comfort items, gum, I've got tuna fish. Look at, you know, really I'm pretty proud of how much I have in here, and I really feel like, though there's some things that would be lacking, for the most part, I would just so much rather have all this than a couple of ration bars. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I like to eat. I'm a food person, and I know that mentally and emotionally, that's going to mean a lot to me if I'm in that situation. So when I just do, you know, go camping, these are things that I would want to eat. So, but these little coffee filters, by the way, I saw these as well. They're awesome, and it's only $2.75. So let me know if you're interested in one of those as well. I also have a bigger medical kit, and in this medical kit I've got more of this. This is the tourniquet sponge, gauze, band-aids, this stuff. Quick Clot Sport. If somebody did have a major gash or a bullet wound, this powder, you open this up and you sprinkle the powder over the wound, and it stops the blood. It clots it up real quick. So not knowing what kind of medical scenario I could come into, I've got a couple of those. More hand warmers, antibiotic cream, and yes, potassium iodide tablets. Sewing kit. And this was at a hotel I stayed at. Little miniature bar of soap that was still in the box, and I was like, you know, again, hygiene is going to be really important no matter what. So, and mentally and emotionally, because I think a lot of times we think of literally only survival, and we forget that we are humans. We're not dogs, we're not raccoons, and a little creature comfort goes a long ways whenever you're in a stressful situation. And I guarantee to you that if you have to grab a bug out bag and take off, you're going to be in a stressful situation. And there's a lot of things that people say that I could do this and I could do that. Why force yourself to have to live off of ration bars and be dirty when it's This bag is so small, y'all. I mean, I have all of this in this little bag. Sewing, 3 to 4 meals, stuff to perform a surgery with, these things. You know, I mean, it's really not hard. I think Ziploc bags are your friend. And the more of those that you utilize in your bag, instead of buying store-bought kits that are put together and they are full of neat little trinkets and toys like, you know, survival tools and things. That's great. But, you know, really think about, especially you women, really think about when you go camping, what's the world like for you?